Okay, so that sucks. I just recorded a bunch of friggin' video and I got a phone call on the iPhone, and apparently when you get a phone call, it kills the video recording. Oh, it's so frustrating. So, starting over, Sentinel, this is Dan, the six-figure couch surfer, now a second lieutenant in the Army. You had posted a comment on my previous video. I'm grateful for the view. Thank you for watching it. You are a police officer who's joining the Army to go through OCS. And you had asked about OML points and branching. So I'm a little frustrated because I had just laid this all out and now I'm recording it again, and I knew that phone calls disrupt video recording. I just didn't anticipate getting a call this morning. So anyway, let's go back to the beginning there. You will be rated 1 through 160 in your class. There'll be about 160 students per company. Now, it's a lot more complicated than it sounds. The big thing is the active duty people, like me and I think you as well, we are not branched. So we're sort of competing in the Hunger Games, if you will, for OML points. Now, it's not really like this whole free-for-all or team deathmatch type of scenario that it may kind of like be projected as, and I'll get into this a little further, but the reservists and National Guard already are branched when they join. So if there are 60 people in OCS who are reservists or National Guard, then the other 100 who are active duty are really competing. So if number 1 through 50, let's say you're 51, right? And 51st place for OML. And 1 through 50 are active or are reserve and National Guard, and you're the first active guy under them, well then technically you're number 1 with branching. So you got to shuffle all of them out. I was ranked, I think, number 19. Technically it was like maybe 22 or something, but because there were a couple reservists at the top slots, I was bumped up 2 or 3 slots. So that's sort of the math behind it. At one point I was ranked number 160 out of 160 due to a little clerical hang up. It did not affect branching. It was resolved. They resolve all the issues prior to branching, and you're able to inquire, to make sure things are correct. If you feel that your points are if there's something missing. But people were coming up to me like they were freaking out on my behalf. I purposely didn't want to look at the list because I don't want to walk around paranoid thinking about like knifing people to get ahead, right? So I figured I'll just do my best, be the best version of myself I could be. And if I don't rank well, then, dude, I'm not going to cry about it. But that really helped keep me just sort of away from all the drama and stuff that happens. So, yeah, but people were coming up, hey, did you hear your number 160? You're in last place. What did you do wrong? Like, and I'm like, dude, okay, either I'm 160 and I'm going to be like a janitor, or I'm not 160 and it's going to resolve itself. But I can't sit here and just wring my hands and freaking worry about it. So you gotta kind of have the appropriate perspective. Whatever yours is, just try to stay sane through it, because it does feel overwhelming and like it's this big game and you want to try to hack it maybe. But look, your PT score, your first PT score going into OCS is like the foundation of your OML score. In fact, it's really tough to undo that. Later, okay, so don't be like too alarmed by this statement, but technically a like 1 point disparity or like 3 to 5 point disparity can drop you 10 or 20 slots, maybe more. It's, again, people freak out over this stuff. There are other moving parts, so try not to get overwhelmed here. If you're like maybe if you're the top third of the class, you should get the branch you want. Trying to think of I don't know, man. This is like, it's pretty complicated because every class has a different allotment of positions in the Army. So like MI is like this, super rare freaking job, like 2 slots for MI, mission military intelligence, per class is what they say. But then in ours we had like 20 slots or something. I don't know if am I allowed to say this? So anyway, when people talk OML, they're gonna say, what job do you want? Oh, dude, I heard that there's not a lot of slots. Oh my goodness, the odds of you getting it are slim. You'll hear this over and over and over and over ad nauseum. Just ignore it. Nobody knows what jobs are open until like the day of friggin' branching. Like, pretty sure it's like that day. It's not disclosed. So there's going to be a ton of rumors. There's going to be people talking about how they're going to get more points or who's going to be dropping points. Did you hear? Did you hear? Just focus on you. You're going to be a leader in the military. You're going to be a leader when you leave and become a police officer again, or whatever career you want to go to when you're out of the military. Look, the whole point of this process is to sort of add stress to an extent, right? I mean, we're human. Like, we're ranked from the way we look physically and how attractive we are to the cars we drive, the money that we have, the homes, whatever. There's so much Darwinianistic, evolutionary, just, metric kind of association with us as a species. It's really annoying to be in a tiny little box in a training situation where that's even amplified more so. So that's just where you got to pause, take a deep breath, do the best you can on your PT, do the best you can in everything you do, but don't freak out over it. Don't lose sleep over it. There's going to be so many random modifications, some subjectivity, some objectivity with regarding the scores. Some things are difficult to quantify. There are going to be some exercises that are fairly qualitative in aspect, but yet they're quantified on a scale to translate into OML points, and that may not be a perfect situation, and it may be really great for you, it may be really bad for you, but that sort of grading schema applies to everyone, all 160 of you, minus the reservists and National Guard folks, or foreign students as well. Anybody from other countries, they go back to their country to do their thing. So also, you can remove them from the shuffle of where you stand. You'll get, routine updates on the OML list. So yes, people will be running through the hallways. It's like middle school again, like, oh my gosh, who got the role in this drama play, or who aced the final exam, whatever, who got into the chess club. I don't know. But you're going to hear a lot of this stuff. Don't let it get to you. You don't know how many jobs there are going to be. There could be, 5 million infantry slots open, or 4.5. I don't know. Whatever. You get what I'm saying. It's difficult to predict. Any sort of contemplating or thinking about it, I get it, dude. You're going to do it a lot. You're going to process with your peers. I'm not trying to say don't dialogue about it. But if you notice that you're getting anxiety, you're getting stress over it, you're losing sleep, you're kind of like mulling over what people are saying, these doomsday scenarios, just be yourself, recenter yourself, contact family, write a letter, journal it, go work out to get those PT scores even higher. But just process it in whatever way you can to stay focused and present. Because again, as a leader, this is something you're going to take with you the rest of your life, and it's going to help you score higher on any other events, because you're going to have all of your resources available to you. So clearly I'm reflecting on the OML process, and there's just so much emotional and psychological energy poured into the peer-to-peer interactions based on this, because you're going to get peer reviewed. So what your buddies think about you is also going to play into this. So you can imagine, look, I've read like a lot of books. I love book reading. You can Google the concept of scarcity and abundance. I think it's Abundance by Peter Thiel. Essentially, people who walk around with a scarcity mindset believe that there are not enough resources in the environment for my survival. People with an abundance mindset can see opportunity anywhere. And as humans, we play into this Darwinianistic evolutionary fitness kind of metric, how attractive you are physically, how much money you have, the crab with the bigger claw, the whole, is it Peter Jordanson? Anyway, Jordanson? I forget his name at the moment. So, look, you're going to be ranked on paper. You're going to be ranked in your mindset against your peers. This is a very personal journey for you. It was for me. Because at the end of the day, where does your value come from? Is it by your number on a list? That's not going to go well for you if you think of it like that, because there's so much stress, and you're going to want to engineer things that are out of your control, you know? So to an extent, you've got to relinquish control of the system, but you then have to still perform at your best. Stay positive, be kind and respectful to your peers, even when they drive you bananas. Be a team player, and be confident in who you are, because confidence is quiet, you know? You're going to posture less. You're not going to try to one-up people. You'll see that. You'll see people in life. We're humans, right? You're going to see people try to put others down or try to get ahead by being strategic, or I don't know, it's like Survivor, where, you know, there's like alliances. But if you just stay true to yourself, you'll have an ease about you, and it's going to calm others down who are in your presence. You're going to be more authentic, more sincere. Your team interactions will be that much more efficient. Your leadership style is going to translate well. You won't stress people out. Look, if you can be a leader who doesn't stress people out, you're going to get people who want to follow you. I mean, it's pretty basic, right? There's a saying in like the corporate world that people get hired to take a job, but they quit managers. They don't quit jobs. People don't quit jobs. They quit bosses. They quit managers. If you're a manager, you're a boss who stresses people out because you're obsessing over your own metrics, that's going to come across. This video is getting long. I'm sort of venting right now. But I'll end it. So look, PT well, because your first PT test is going to determine the biggest chunk of your OML. There's going to be a lot of little things that are OML based, but they're pretty easy. Obstacle courses, things like that. I mean, tests, exams, it's not really that difficult. Towards the end, when you do squad sticks, your team leadership, that's going to play a really big chunk. And that will shake things up. You will see people drop 40, 50, 60 slots because they screwed something up. Pay attention to the details. Again, don't freak out. Just calmly go through it. Make sure you just stay on top of things. Communicate clearly. Don't let your friends fall asleep when you're giving an op board. Keep them awake. Keep them engaged. Look out for one another. And find people that you trust to surround yourself with, right? Find people that keep you in a good, positive space. You can still be competitive, but if you know who you are, if you know yourself, you're not going to have too much anxiety over this, right? So just think about that. Yes, towards the end of it, it does get stressful because just a small delta of OML points, a small discrepancy of maybe 2 to 5 points can still drop you like 5 or 10 slots. And that seems massive, right? Because people are going to start asking one another, like, who's next to them, right? So I'm going to ask the guys, 3 people above me, what do you want to branch? What do you want to branch? What do you want to branch? And then find out, do they want my branch? Maybe lie about it. You're going to see people do this stuff to see like, well, if they all want, artillery, and then they're all ahead of me and they get artillery, then I'm not going to have any. For me, scarcity mindset, right? Just tell yourself that there's plenty of jobs out there and stay open to whatever's thrown your way. I wish I could give you a simpler answer. I wish it was a cleaner process. It is complicated. There's a lot of moving parts. I will say that one of the biggest takeaways was somebody who came in prior service. He made some poor decisions, and he lost his own job in the military and got branched something entirely different. So if that means he would have to tell his wife and move her and the kids, that's heavy. It's one of those things where if you just do what's right as much as possible, because you don't know who's watching. You can make a sort of innocent mistake, but dude, when it does, just mitigate your own impact into losing OML points. I hope that makes sense. You don't have to be paranoid. You don't have to be worried and stressed. Just do your best to follow the rules and stay within the guidelines that you know are correct. Because guys will get pinged left and right and you'll see them drop. And it's going to be one of those things, one of those moments where you reflect and say, oh my gosh, like, A, I'm so glad that was me, but B, I could be that guy. I could have done that same thing and been busted for it. And that just should make you want to just follow correctly, right? So I hope this helps. I hope this video wasn't stressful. I got kind of riled up because I remember my own difficulty dealing with it at first. But for me personally, my philosophy was never, ever, ever look at the OML list. The chips are going to fall where they may. No matter where I am on the list, there could be other factors that drop me into a different position. I understand that you're seeking resources out there. There's a lot of resources on the internet that are sort of correct. They're correct at one angle, one snapshot, but there's so many different ways things could cascade differently. There's so many variables, so much minutia in this. So take everything with a grain of salt, even what I'm saying, and let your experience be your experience. Don't worry about the naysayers and what other people say. Don't listen to the scarcity people, man. Have an abundance mindset and do your best to be your best. This journey is about you becoming the leader you want to be, the man or woman that you'll be proud to look back and say, this version of myself chose to pursue the right path. That's what you want to look back and say. You don't have to look at the people next to you and try to elbow them out of the way. Don't worry about that. Worry about you. Be a good person and let that positive energy flow through you. You're going to work out better. You're going to just, I don't know, have a cleaner conscience. You'll get more rest. You'll perform better. It's mind, body, spirit. It's a lot of things, man. And if you ever want to go to like the chapel services on Sunday, that's a great way to just like get away from all things military. Go into that room and just kind of like find your happy place, man. Just kind of meditate and take some deep breaths and recenter yourself, because you will be poked and prodded and shoved a lot just by the system. It's what it's designed to do. So the more you recenter yourself, the more you remember who you are, the better you're gonna be. I'll end the video. If I kind of rambled, if there's specific questions you want, especially anything mathematical or metrics based or whatever regarding OML, just ping me on the comments. I'll be looking out for your username, and I'll put up some like mini videos about this, or I can just message you back in the comments. So hope you're well. Thanks for deciding to join, and good luck with OCS, man. Keep me posted on how things go. Peace.